Alright folks, found myself a new fuel tank. That's the whole reason I spent $100 for a fuel tank. Alright, we're going to use this pickup because it works, and I know it works. We're going to use this ring. Here's the other one that came with it, and I'm going to steal that float and transfer it. Interesting. So this is from a 2003, and this is from a 2002. 7.360. Interesting how that's not even in this lineup. Maybe they just removed it. Other things is I've got to take this off. Pretty simple, like that. This is for my gravity feed, and I need to put that on this tank somewhere. I also need to clean the tank out. It's pretty clean, so that helps. But I'm gonna put some old rags in there, soak up everything, and then put some cleaner. At least pull it all. Get all that out of there. So the way that these work is they float on top of diesel, so you can get a general idea of where you're at. This one is massively different in the sense that it's got lines, and my other one, I don't know where it's at right now. It doesn't, but I don't think that's gonna cause any issues. Here's my old one. That hole is wallowed out. But it's the same pretty much all the way around. Sheesh, who knows how many miles that one's gone. Alright, I'm going to purposely submerge this in there and make sure it's actually floating, because I would hate to go through all this trouble, put a new tank up in there, and I still haven't solved my problem on my fuel gauge reading. So there's no bubbles coming from the float. That's a good sign, but we'll leave it while I clean this out. Here's the bottom. This breaks. They generally break off. I found them as low as $14.99 on Amazon. They come with 2 filters for this, for the 7.3s. I've removed my filters just so I get more flow. But yeah, they generally break, and then that way what happens is you have a quarter of a tank left of fuel, it just stops running because it can't pick that quarter of a tank up. Float looks good. So at this point, I need a ring. Alright, so that goes right there. Alright, now you have orientation arrow. Pickup tubes are going to face towards the frame. So your supply, your return, your filler, your VAP, evap, and your other VAP, along with another VAP. I don't want to go too tight, but there you go. Hose clamp for that. I don't think that's fuel line. This is fuel. You got two rubbers. This is supposed to have a cap. Other option is if you're more or less trying to go waterproof, run that up through in between the beds as high as you can. There's one here and there's one over here, and they appear just to be a little bar that's connected, so you can kind of, the gas can kind of vent through that. You've got your supply, it's the thicker one. Your return is a thinner one. Filler, neck, a vent, that's the one that's broken on the original tank, and the gauge plug right here. I have these massive 6x6s. Work fantastic for increasing the height. I don't know why this piece of plastic's here, because it's not going to do anything if you lose your drive shaft, but it's here. It's your sending unit. Alright. Now when you're putting this, sliding this forward, there's not enough room between the tank and the drive shaft, if it's there. So what you do is you lift it up right here and you slide that down on top of the drive shaft. Alright, there we go, guys. Alright guys, let me explain this contraption above my head right here. This is a filter for fuel out of a transfer tank that most people put in the bed of their trucks. Now I don't have a pump. Pumps cost money, so I found out that I can gravity feed my fuel in. With that there being said, how does this work? Well, it's pretty darn simple. It just works off of gravity. Pressure built up from the big tank, and it comes down. So, get you guys zoomed in, get a little less direct light on the matter. There we go. You guys should be able to see that, and I'll just open up the top and let
fuel start coming in, you should hear it going into the tank.
Alright guys, there it is, wrapped up. I need some coverage for this, and I'll go get that here. But it looks like it's going to rain, so I want to install this before it starts raining. This is the other portion to that, my trailer connecting point. I'll get that once it's in the truck.